What is going on? It is a very late night show. It's a Benzone exclusive brought to you by me, Ben Cornett. What is going on, everybody? I just wanted to get on for a little bit. Um, we had quite a day in sports. We had a good NFL game that just ended a little while ago. The Cowboys ended up beating the Lions today, 20-19. Um, say what you want. Quite an ending to the game. Um, the Lions went for two. Taylor Decker, did he or did he not report to the referee he's going to be a eligible receiver? Um, Looked like to me he did, but he the refs called it off. They said he was ineligible. Um, so a lot of question marks there. Um, Me personally, I think after the two penalties, one for each team, Dan Campbell should have just went for the extra point, in my opinion. You know, it just gave Dallas too much time to set up their defense and everything. If you're try to go for it twice, then to me you're being over aggressive. And one thing that we know Dan Campbell's a very good coach. There's no question about that, and he likes to take risk. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with going for it on certain occasions, going for two on certain occasions, but when you at time you got to do it. It just depends when you do it. And at that point I felt like he had more of a player's mentality to say, all right, you're going to take this away from us, I'm going to throw it back at you, refs. And I think that kind of hurt the team a little bit. It hurt the Lions more than it helped, and I think that's what cost him the game was the coaching out. That's not the only thing. There were uh, Jared Goff had two interceptions. He didn't throw a touchdown tonight. Luckily for the Lions, the run game was very good. They were able to run the ball on Dallas. Dallas is not a very good run defense, so they had success with that. Um, but also, Dallas had success going in the air, throwing the football, and that seems to be from what I can tell, watching the Lions games, that's the Lions' weakness is the secondary on their defense, and Dallas exposed that tonight. CeeDee Lamb had a very good game. He did have that fumble in the end zone that was a touchback for the Lions, but other than that, he played a great game. Uh, so it was quite a game. I enjoyed it. I was going back and forth with that, along with, I was watching AEW World's End tonight. Um, it was okay. I mean, I haven't done a wrestling show lately. I'm gonna do one pretty soon. Face the Heels. I'm gonna do that probably within this week or so, or next week sometime. But I am gonna get that wrestling show back up and going. Just been really busy, so haven't had a lot of time to do that show and the other shows I got going on, stuff like that. Been very busy lately, so and it's the holiday season as well, but AEW was okay tonight. There's a lot of news going on today with AEW. It's no secret that if you're a wrestling fan, the problems they've been having lately. Obviously, the whole CM Punk thing, uh, there's rumors that Andrade is finishing up with the company. He lost to Miro tonight, so he may be going back to WWE soon. And then, of course, we had the main event, Samoa Joe, MJF for the AEW World Title. We had the Devil storyline, which turned out to be Adam Cole. I don't think that was any surprise. I think we all knew what that was, but it just felt kind of anticlimactic, in my opinion. But yeah, AEW's got some issues. I'll address that more with my Face the Heels show coming up. Hopefully, I'll get that going this week, get that back and running. And then also today we got a comment here. Hello from Florida. It's Odette Brenson's Facebook Crazy Day in Sports. Hey, Odette, how you doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it was a very crazy day in sports, and I am going to get to that. What was crazy today was, as you can see, what I'm wearing on my head here. Yes, it is a Florida State hat, and yes, I am a Florida State fan. Been a Seminoles fan since 1993. Charlie Ward made me a Seminoles fan. He was a great player for us, for the Seminoles. He also played in the NBA, the New York Knicks. Uh, Love Charlie Ward. He got me to be a Florida State fan. So props to Mr. Ward there. But anyway, tonight was ugly. Was I surprised Florida State lost? No. Did I knew they would get beat? Pretty good. Yeah, but what I predicted Florida State would lose by like 3 scores. I thought it would be like a 40-10, 40-17 kind of game. But we lost that game 63-3. That I didn't expect. And there's a comment here. Facebook user says the portal thingy did them in. Let me see who this is first. Who made this comment? Oh, so that it was part of it. There's no question about it. The portal. Tay Rodemaker went into the transfer portal. A couple other players did. I love Georgia, but damn, they kicked our butt. Yeah, they did. They did. And, we also had players going for the NFL draft, obviously Trey Benson, Jared Verse. So Johnny Wilson Jr. That hurt. I understand that. For me, it didn't bother me that them leaving for the NFL draft. I get it, and that's fine. That's their decision. I respect that. Protect your investment. There's nothing wrong with that. The portal, I don't have a problem with either. That's fine. No problemo. Like, you want to go in the portal, great. The problem for me today with this game was the head coach, Mike Norvell. Now, don't get me wrong here. Love the guy. He's turned this program around in 4 years that he's been here. Because we were in the pretty much irrelevant for a while. And, he took over for Willie Taggart, and Taggart took over for Jimbo Fisher. It was messy. And Norvell had, came in 2020. Obviously, that was a COVID year. Hard to recruit then. You couldn't go to, players' houses. You couldn't do all that stuff because the lockdown, stuff like that. Couldn't do certain things. But, going from that to, where we are now, it's incredible. It's been an incredible run. He's turned the program around. He's been able to get recruits. He's been able to get recruits to flip their commitments from other schools. He's been able to use the transport portal very well. That's where guys like Trey Benson, Johnny Wilson, those guys came from there. And, and that's great. He also built the program with guys like Jordan Travis, who was actually a transfer from Louisville, but, he's like a freshman at the time. We had other players grow up in the Florida State system, and, he was able to build that foundation, and, nothing but respect for him. However, today, I was disappointed in him. And again, I get it. You were shorthanded. You had to start, second stringers, a lot of freshmen, sophomores who haven't gotten much playing time, except for when, you know, they came in the game late after Florida State was up by so many scores. But to me, this was more about Mike Norvell didn't care. Let me take that back. I don't think it's so much he didn't care. It's more like he. What I'm trying to think of the word here, like he felt like a defeated man coming into this game because his team didn't get into the playoffs. And I understand the disappointment. I understand that, you know, Florida State, many fans said they were robbed. And, you know, it's when you look at the resume, it's hard to disagree. You know, I was on record saying, unfortunately, the college football playoff got it right. And I hate to say it, but I still think they did. I don't think Florida State would have, even with a healthy Jordan Travis, even if they got into this playoff game and, you know, to the semifinals, let's say they were the fourth seed over Alabama or Texas, whatever. I don't think they would have had a chance against Michigan or Washington. I don't. Because, again, Jordan Travis is a great player, and he's what makes this team so well, so good. And yes, the defense is very good as well, but let's remember, this is also Louisville. And, you know, we beat an LSU team that was ranked fifth at the time, but they're a 3-loss team. Florida's not as good as they've been the last few years. You know, so going into this playoffs, I wasn't, even if we'd have made it, I wouldn't have been confident that this team could have got past the semifinals because you're facing better teams. Michigan's a great team. Washington's a great team. And you know, anybody can be beaten. I get that. But I don't think we would have fared well without Jordan Travis. So, but today this wasn't so much about the players that we didn't have out there. It was coaching. And Norvell just looked like a defeated guy going into this game. It was like, you know, he said the right things, but I could tell by his demeanor, by his players, the players' demeanors, that they didn't want to be there. And I'm not going to necessarily blame the kids here or the young men. It's coaching. You know, you got to be a leader. And I felt like today Norvell really wasn't really a leader. It was just like, okay, we're here to be here. You know, that's it. Georgia, on the other hand, felt like they got screwed also. But Kirby Smart motivated his team. And they were ready to play. They were ready to be like, okay, you know, yeah, we got shut out of the CFP, but we're going to prove that we should have been one of the top 4 teams. And they played like it. And even they missed some of their players. Brock Bowers, their tight end. You know, and some of their other players, their starters as well. But the difference today was coaching. Kirby Smart not only outcoached Norvell, but he told the college football playoff, screw you guys. Norvell just whined about it. There's a difference. Georgia proved it on the field. Florida State didn't. They just whined about it. And again, you know, I'm not going to blame the fans for feeling how they feel. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I felt like this team, mainly the coach, not so much the players, because the players, they're young players. They're only doing what they've been asked to do. At the end of the day, this falls on Mike Norvell for this game and this loss, the way they lost. Again, I could have accepted a 45-7, 45-10 game if the coaching was better, if he had this team more motivated to play. Unfortunately, I didn't see that. A 63-3 game, that kind of score tells me that the team that only scored 3 points they weren't motivated enough by their head coach. They didn't give a damn. To me, that's disappointing more than anything else. I'm sorry, it just is. I know Florida State fans are like, well, what are you ripping Coach Norvell for? Well, again, this is the Orange Bowl, okay? I know it's not the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl that you wanted to play in, but it's still one of the New Year's Eve bowls. And today, this was more about lack of effort, putting this team in a better position to try and play their hardest and give a damn. Kirby Smart had the me against the world attitude, but he used it the right way. He got his players motivated. You heard him say he wanted to do this for the seniors that were on the team. What about the seniors on Florida State's team? I didn't hear Norvell say anything about that, doing it for them. Again, if we lost the game, fine. I can accept that. But what I can't accept is a coach who doesn't put his team in a position to try and win the game or give it a valiant effort out there. To me, he just threw his hands up and said, okay, just whatever. We're just here. That's it. People will say, well, it's not a big deal. Well, it can be in the long run. What if recruits are seeing this game? What if players in the transfer portal are looking at this and saying, do I really want to be on this team? Do I really want to go out and play hard for this guy if this guy doesn't want to coach hard for me? That can have an effect on, recruits. So that's what disappointed me the most. And, again, I don't like losing games like that. I can live with losing games where you played hard. If Georgia was just the better team and they had better talent on their team. And yes, I get it. Yeah, well, they played a lot of their guys. Well, hey, you know what? Florida State had a choice too. Players had a choice too. They could have played. But again, if they didn't, I understood. But this was coaching. Plain and simple. Norvell just did not put his team in a position to try and go out there and at least play their heart out in this Orange Bowl game. Whatever happens, happens. And that's what I mean. The players, they look up to their coaches. They get motivated by their coaches. And I felt Norvell didn't do that today. Instead he just, again, he'll say the right things, but he didn't prove it on the field. And as a result, losing 63-3, just embarrassing. And, this isn't even about the whole, college football playoff thing. We got screwed this, or the ACC has screwed us over. We went out of the conference. And that's another thing. That's a distraction as well. There's been a lot of distractions on this team. But again, a great coach can overcome that stuff, take their minds off certain things. And Norvell didn't do that. Kirby Smart did, but not Mike Norvell. And if Florida State fans hate me for saying that, then fine. I don't care. That's fine. But that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick with it. Florida State, the head coach today, did not have his team ready to play. Plain and simple. I'm sorry, he just didn't. And what's sad is Brock Glenn actually played decent. He had a couple nice throws. He made some plays. It looks like there's going to be some promise there. Unfortunately, though, he's probably not going to start next year because there's going to be, quarterbacks in the portal that I'm sure that, it's going to be either DJ Uiagalelei or Cam Ward, whoever it is probably going to be the starter. Why do you think Tate Rodemaker left? He went in the transfer portal. He was probably told, yeah, we're going a different direction here. So, I don't know. Brock Glenn played hard, but, it just seemed like the rest of the team it was just lethargic. It was like just going out there and just okay, we're just going to play. But that's on coaching. You got to be able to motivate these young men to go out there, play their ass off, and try. And they didn't do that. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that today. We had a great year. Didn't end very well, but still 13-1, very good record. Florida State fans probably won't acknowledge this game today. That's fine. That's their privilege. But the record book shows we're 13-1. So it's still a great year. And, I'm looking forward to next year. We'll see how it goes. With the realignment, new teams going to new conferences, the whole ACC thing, I'm not going to really get into that. That's a lot of legal jargon, and, that would take hours to talk about. And I don't want to do that and bore you guys. But, yeah. So, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Tomorrow we got NFL Week 17. We're getting right down to it. 2 more weeks of the NFL with Bucks tomorrow. Go up against the New Orleans Saints in Tampa. 1 p.m. start, 10 a.m. Pacific time. The Bucks, all they got to do is win, and they win the division, the NFC South, for the 3rd year in a row, get into the playoffs, and will be the 4th seed, obviously. Detroit will finish 3rd, obviously. We won't be able to finish better than 4th, but we win this division tomorrow. We're the number 4 seed. So that'll be great, especially for this team who were once 4-7, and it looked a little bleak, but 4 wins in a row now and a chance to win the division again, especially against the New Orleans Saints, who are division rival. And what better way to, stick it to them than to beat them and win the division for a 3rd straight year. I do have the Bucks winning this game tomorrow. I just think they're the better team right now. They're on a roll. The Saints, I don't trust their quarterback, Derek Carr. I've made that, I've made it felt to everybody how I feel about Carr. I think he's just too inconsistent, not a franchise quarterback, mediocre at best. He'll have a game or two where he plays well, but never consistent. Their run game's decent. Kamara, Chris Olave is a good receiver, but the offensive line's not very good. The Bucks should be able to defensively get to Derek Carr, get him frustrated, make some mistakes. And for us, offensively, I think Lattimore's not playing tomorrow. That's a big loss in their secondary, and that we all know Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans. We know that rivalry. So Evans doesn't have to worry about Lattimore. He can go out there and play his game, and I expect him to get a touchdown tomorrow. You know, I expect Godwin to do well. So all Baker has to do is just, keep playing well, throw the ball, run the ball. Um, Saints have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. So Rashad White can have a big game tomorrow. Um, I would be surprised if he doesn't get less than 80 yards in this game. If he doesn't get more than 80 yards, that would be a disappointing because the Bucks can run the ball on it. They've been running the ball great lately. The protection's been great for Baker Mayfield. The offensive line's creating holes for the run game. They should be able to dominate the line of scrimmage with the Saints. So I expect a big game. I think it'll be close because it's a division game, but the Bucks should be able to uh, handle it. I got it 23-13. That's my score. So take care of business. Let's win this game, win this division, and get ready for the postseason. And that's all I care about. Corey Brown says, still have great years. Bucks win NFC South. Let's go. All right, Corey, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Good comment. Corey says, Bucks would be dangerous in playoffs. Only team loaded with defensive up front. Yeah. Yeah, we could surprise people, win a game. It depends who we play. I mean, as it would stand right now, we would play Dallas in the first round. They'd have to come to Tampa. Won't be easy, but Dallas is not a good road team. They've, um, they're undefeated at home, but on the road they're like 3-5. So yeah. Or wait, what's the record? 3-5. They're 3-5 on the road this year. So they've had a tough time away from Dallas, and if we have to play them, that'd be great. I think we would have a chance. I understand Dallas's defense is good, but get them away from home. It's a different story. I believe Dak's got more interceptions on the road than he does at home. So, so if our defense can get to him and beat their offensive line at the line of scrimmage, we definitely have a chance. So, but again, we got 2 weeks left. We don't, we got to win our division first. Tomorrow, let's just do that. Focus on this game, and then after that, we can go from there because we'll already be in the playoffs. So yeah, I can't wait. Fred Swayze Moore, thanks for tuning in. He says Saints are done. Bucks 40-16. Pirate flags, fired the cannons, and cheers. So cheers to you too, Mr. Fred. Thank you for watching tonight. Corey Brown, Bucks could be a Super Bowl contender. Well, anything can happen. It's the NFL. Anything can happen, but I wouldn't go that far, but I definitely think this team, with the home game in the playoffs, can win a game. They can win a game and surprise some people. But more than likely, we'd have to go on the road in the divisional round. That's where it would be tough. So during this 4-game win streak, though, 3 of them have been at home. So, it's what we got to do away from home. That's going to be tough, but who knows? Maybe they can, be a Super Bowl contender. Listen, I live here in Las Vegas, and guess where the Super Bowl is this year? Las Vegas. So, now I may have to mortgage my house to get a ticket, but no, I don't know. Well, I'm not even going to think about that right now. That's, who knows? But you never know. And yeah, so I'm just focused on tomorrow. This is going to be a interesting game, especially when it's, a division game, when it's the Saints, the bad blood between these two teams. I pretty much hate the Saints. I think, they just, in my opinion, suck. Their fans suck. Not all of them, but most of them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. But I'm gonna get going though. I just want to do a quick late night show. Last night I did not have a show. Have at it. That'll be next week. That'll be next Friday night. We'll be back normal time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Just was really busy last night. Couldn't um, get anything going. You know, when I got home, it was past. I think it was like 7:30 local time for me. It would have been 10:30. I just was worn out. So again, my apologies for not having a show last night, but this one kind of makes up for it tonight. So yeah, I just wanted to get on real quick, just do a quick show. Again, uh, by the way, like, share, and subscribe to this, please. That would be greatly appreciated. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, BennyBoys702. Uh, this You can watch this on my YouTube channel. It's on there right now at BenCornet9015. And if you're in the Benzone, it's on here on Facebook. Great. If not, I have it on my own page if you are my friend on Facebook. And if you're an Instagrammer, follow me at Ben702 forever. Um, the My social media is on my right hand side right there above the Caesar Palace sign, so just follow me there. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to do it. So everybody have a great rest of the weekend, and if I don't see you again before Monday, I want to wish everybody a happy New Year uh, and a great 2024. I'm looking forward to 2024, and I hope everyone else is as well. So, that being said, I'm going to take off. Everybody, have a great night and happy New Year, and I will see you next time right here on the Benzone. Have a good night, everybody, and have a happy New Year. Take care.